In this video today guys, I'll be showcasing an updated method on how to play with ultra-low graphics in Fortnite, but with new and improved settings, because since my last tutorial they got these ultra-low graphics on screen, they unfortunately had some issues, like not being able to fully see the ground, along with other objects not being fully visible. But after finding these new improved settings, which credit the modders by the way for finding these previous issues have now been fixed and optimized greatly. So after watching this video, you will now have the best ultra-low graphics that even Martos himself loves.
I'm actually considering on staying on this, because it actually feels really good to play on this. There's like no delay at all. And it's actually playable, like I said. Unlike the last time where you couldn't see the ground.
If you haven't seen his recent video, he's been playing like an absolute god on these ultra-low settings, and there's good reasons for why that is. Because one, you'll get a huge FPS boost, as with us being able to lower the game's texture details externally. This obviously achieves low textures in-game, which does result in much higher FPS. And if we compare the low graphics in Fortnite, so having literally all the settings set to low, you can see here that if we compare it to the new ultra-low graphics settings that we've made, you can see there's a clear big difference between the two. And in terms of FPS too, the difference is just crazy. So no matter what type of gaming PC you have, may that be low, medium or high end, I can assure you all that you will get an FPS boost. And for the second advantage, with us getting more FPS in game with the textures all being lowered, this means that your input delay will feel lowered as well. So like Martos was saying before, the feeling that you get when you play on these ultra low textures is pretty crazy, and the game does feel insanely smooth in game. However, there is one main disadvantage, and that is the most obvious one. It's the look of the game. Obviously it does look a lot worse when you do compare it to low textures on the base game, especially when you do compare it to the normal low graphics, as you can see from the comparison on screen. So if you are not a fan of these ultra low textures like this on screen, and you don't even need an FPS boost, you may not want to use them. With all that being said though, a lot of you will be asking, is the ultra low graphics even allowed? And well, I believe it is allowed, because I've checked the terms of service and I couldn't see anything that says it's not allowed, and I've also seen big names like Martos, King and Lecce use it and they didn't get banned, so all of us should be fine. However, please do use these ultra low graphics at your own risk. I don't want to be responsible. But yeah, moving on to the tutorial, here's how to get the ultra low graphics in Fortnite. Now firstly, you will need a Nvidia GPU, which most of you will have, and you'll also need an app called Nvidia Profile Inspector. If you don't have it, just simply Google Nvidia Profile Inspector, then once you press search, just click on the first link, which will be a GitHub link. Then if you scroll down, you will see the Nvidia Profile Inspector zip, just click on that. It'll then ask you to download it, just go ahead and save it. Then once you've downloaded it, if you go ahead and right click on it and extract it, you will see the applications right there. Just go ahead and open it up, and as you can see, just like that, you have access to a ton of customizable settings. Now first things first, you want to go to the top right where it says profiles and type in Fortnite like so, and then once you've actually got it selected, you'll know if it's done correctly if it has this green little bar right here, which means you are all good to go. And then what you want to do inside of here is you want to firstly scroll down to 3 where it says anti-aliasing, and under where it says transparency super sampling, you want to select that option. Click on the drop down and you want to find a setting called 0, and then loads of zeros, 8, AA mode, replay mode, all, just like that. So replay mode all, you want to select that setting. Then once you've selected that, you want to go ahead and go underneath it where it says texture filtering. Under texture filtering, you want to select the texture filtering driver controlled LOD bias, and you want to go ahead and firstly turn this option off. Underneath that, you should see 2 more LOD bias settings. For both of these, you want to go ahead and select 3 on both of them, which is the bottom setting. Just make sure both of these are selected on +3 like so. And finally, where it says texture filter quality, the default option is quality, but you want to go ahead and select high quality on that one. So the texture filtering quality is on high quality. And then go ahead and scroll to the top and click on apply changes. Now as soon as you open up the game, you will notice straight away if it has worked correctly or not. If it has worked correctly, your game will look a lot lower quality in terms of textures. Just looking at your character's skin right here. Getting straight into the battle bus, you can see that the map isn't as like blocky and squarey as it was before. You can see now with these updated settings, it actually looks pretty similar to normal, which is what we're actually looking for. You can see the textures are slightly lower, and that's what we want to get more FPS, but for the game to also be actually playable. As last time with the flaws being like not there, non-existent, it was really difficult to play. But you can see now all the flaws themselves have spawned in. Some things do look quite blocky, like you can see the mountain face right here is a little bit iffy, but textures in terms of all the floor loot and everything like that is very clear and easy to see, which is exactly what we want. But yeah, in game you can see this is what the world looks like. You can see the trees are a lot different, everything has just lesser quality as it normally does, but this is what gives us the FPS boost that we want. But the floor issue is no longer there, which is absolutely great. One thing you guys also want to watch out for is in some areas, usually in the mountain faces, they can look a little bit blocky, which is unfortunate, and sometimes you can actually walk through terrain that you think you'd have to like jump over or get stuck on, so just watch out for that. As well as that, for snipers like this one right here, just ones with the full-on scope on them, these are actually a lot better with the settings. As previously I'll show it on screen right now, they never used to have a scope on the old settings, but on these new ones, if I go into game, you can see here, if I scope in, the scope is somewhat there, which I think this is actually enough to get a kill. The last one would have been pretty difficult for certain. Aside from that though, just looking around, you can see how clean everything is with these textures. There's absolutely no grass whatsoever, which makes spotting enemies really, really easy. I really wish that this was like an actual setting in the game itself, as I think a lot of people with low end PCs would benefit from this massively. As for the buildings and stuff, the textures are pretty normal, they look good. They still actually look pretty high quality, to be fair. You'll also get some weird textures like this where you can actually see through the roots. I believe on normal graphics you can't actually see through them like this or as clear, so that's quite cool. But another huge disadvantage is normally stuff like this would be invisible, but the blocky textures do block it, so it is kind of a huge disadvantage as well with the graphics being like this. However, if you do not like the look of these graphics, which some of you might not, you can go ahead and revert them back to normal. All you have to do is open the NVIDIA profile inspector again, and then simply go to the top and click on this green restore button right here. It says restore current profile to the NVIDIA defaults, and that'll go ahead and reset it back to normal. And yeah, that's how you get ultra low graphics in Fortnite. If the video helped out, feel free to drop a like on it, drop a sub on the channel, and use my code in the item shop to help me out a ton. Catch us all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out my other videos which are on screen right now.